Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Who
Hey
else do we
guys,
have on the call tonight?
let's welcome let's welcome my new associate Marilyn Granado in Austin, Texas. I just saw her sign on.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Miss Marilyn, welcome to the call. Welcome to the call. Who else do we have? State your name and where you're chiming in from, and we will get started.
Kimberly from Vallejo, California.
Let's go, Miss Kimberly Howard from Vallejo, California. Welcome to the pod meeting. Awesome, awesome. Who else do we have on the call? Anybody else joining us? Miss Kim is back in traffic, so she's in the wake up and win. She's on her way to work, and then on the pod meeting, she's coming home from work.
James Clark, New Jersey.
Mr. JC, what's going on, sir? Welcome to the call.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you, sir.
Absolutely.
Right,
Glad to be seen.
I know this is a new day for this call, so we're gonna let folks adjust a little bit, so that we can get people on this call, and we will be coming to a hard stop, you guys, at about 8:15, so that the next call we can definitely, hop on. Right after this, we have our $1 Million Baby call. We want to make sure that we're respecting that call, the time to prepare for that call. So, we will end this call. That's one of the reasons that I'm hosting tonight, right? So that we can get through it, sift through it, and extract the value out of today's call as well. But yeah, we're waiting for a few more leaders to hop on. And in the event that you have not stated your name yet, where you're chiming in from, please feel free to as soon as possible. All right. Awesome. If you just hopped on, welcome to the Wednesday night Supreme National Call. This is our new Wednesday night pod meeting. We can keep the music going, by the way, Lay. We are still waiting on some more guests, so we can keep the music going. But if you are new to the call, if you just got on, state your name, where you're chiming in from. And go ahead and give your teammates a tap on the shoulder. Let them know that we are getting started. And we're going to have a phenomenal call this evening, guys. All right? Definitely don't want to belay the hour or miss this call. But yes, if you're just chiming in, please stay chiming in from. All right. If you're just joining us, please state your name and where you're chiming in from.
Betty Valentine from South Carolina.
Let's go, Miss Betty Valentine from South Carolina, not North Carolina. Right? South Kakalaka. If you're just joining us, state your name and where you're chiming in from, please. We will be getting started here shortly. State your name and where you're chiming in.
This is Hans Augustine in New Jersey.
Mr. Hans Augustine from New Jersey. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, all right. So we got a great lineup. As I said, and we can go ahead and get the call started, Miss Lay. Go ahead and kill the music. If you can, the cameras, you guys, go ahead and kill the music, Lay. Diamond Bar, California, Miss Monica Castaneda has typed in the chat. All right, good stuff, good stuff. So welcome to our Wednesday call. And like I said, you guys, as we know, we are in the people business, and we are in the finance business, in the people business, you guys. A lot of times people are averse to change, right? People are averse to things being different. People do not like getting uncomfortable. And something as simple as a meeting changing from Monday to Wednesday could really, really, really throw some people off, right? But hey, we are in business, we are leaders, and pivoting, adjusting, getting uncomfortable is where we have to learn how to live. I saw Miss Kim post that the journey is the dream the other day. And I thought that it was a very profound post because it's so true, right? One of the reasons that the lion is the king of the jungle is not because he's the fastest, it's not because he's the strongest, not because he's the biggest, right? But he loves the journey. The lion loves the hunt, right? And because he's so in love with the hunt, that's what makes him the king of his thing, right? And falling in love with the journey is what it's all about, you guys, because the results are not promised, right? And so falling in love with the journey, purposing your life. I ask God every single morning, I thank him for giving me a platform to serve and a purpose to live. A platform to serve and a purpose to live, because a lot of people don't have that. And a lot of people take it for granted. I always say, you may outproduce me, you may even out recruit me, but you will never out serve me, right? Because service is where the true value is, you guys. The gift is truly in the giving, right? And so when you have a platform like this, right, you should be excited to serve. You should be just absolutely head over heels to be on a platform that values what you have to bring to it so that you can unwrap your gift, right? And it's a reciprocal process. A helps B, right? But A grows in value. A helps B, but A grows in value, right? And so with that said, okay, we got a great call lined up. Even though I don't see a few people who are giving testimony and things of that nature to this call. Some of you guys, if you guys could tap, some folks on the shoulder again and let them know this call has started. We got some testimonies from some folks that we would love to have. But you know what? We will pivot. We will adjust in the event that folks are not available. Hey, but turn your cameras on. Few Zoom keeping guidelines, if you will. Turn your cameras on, please, if you can, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. All right. Kindly mute your line if you are not speaking, right? We always want to respect the speaker. Okay. So in the event that someone's speaking, you guys just make sure that your line is muted. All right. And dress for success. Right? Show up to your business like the future millionaire and billionaire that you are, right? Because here's the thing, your business will follow suit. Your business will follow suit. Life is like a spades game. Anybody ever play spades before? Right? Right? I love spades. Hans always talking about spades too, right? But here's the thing, right? You lay down a heart and everybody else got to play what? Hearts, unless they are evil and they have spades and they want to kill your suit, right? And they don't have any heart, okay? But here's the thing, life is like that, you guys. There's literally a philosophy and a theory. Look it up, ask ChatGPT to help you out. It's called the law of the suit, okay? If someone walked into a room right now dressed as a police officer, had the badge, had the gun, had the holster, had the billy club, Unless he told us otherwise, we would kind of have to believe that he had some authority, okay? Because he dressed the part, right? Life is waiting for us or you to assume the position. Assume the position. Whatever it is your goal is, whatever it is your dream is, right? Your dreams may not be like mine, where, I show up, I'm a billionaire, right? I am going to get there or I am going to fall short trying. However, I'm a billionaire, right? Meaning that I dress like one, I seek to look like one, I seek to walk like one, talk like one, communicate like one, embody the principles of one, right? Because if I assume the position, okay, all power is associated with immovability. So if I show up every single day, walking, talking, and dressing, okay, like the person I'm becoming, at some point I start to attract the things that I act like in the position that I assume. All right. And that's the beautiful thing about life. The beautiful thing about life is this. God is saying you can make it whatever you want it to be. There are no facts. There are only beliefs. If you believe the world is a horrible place, guess what it's going to be for you? Horrible place. But if you believe, okay, like our brother Albert Einstein, those of you who don't have this philosophy in your repertoire, please write this down. Albert Einstein said, most important decision a man will ever make. Why is he saying this is the most important decision a man will ever make? Look how he frames it. Then he says, is whether or not you live in a hostile or a harmonious universe. Because whatever you believe is going to be true. So you have to choose the perspectives that serve your objectives. Okay. And if your objective is to have a happy and fulfilling life, then you have to give that focus and you have to platform that. Okay. Don't let the world serve you their version of trauma. Okay. Show up and create your own destiny. Create your own realities. Create your own world. Create your own paradigm. And guess what? It can start with something as simple as making up your bed, waking up at 5 a.m., eating an apple a day instead of a Hershey bar, reading 10 pages of a good book a day instead of scrolling. Yes, sir, Mr. Stephen Taylor. Choose the perspectives that serve your objectives. That is Sunni Samad's personal definition of success. Success is choosing the perspectives that serve your objectives. Guess what, though? Every day. Every day. So, Mr. Taylor, if you're going to write that down, okay, don't forget the everyday part, brother. All right? Every day. And guess what, Mr. Clark? Sometimes it's hour for hour. Sometimes it's minute for minute. Sometimes it's, sometimes it's situation for situation. All right? But you got to choose the perspectives that serve your objectives every single day. Mm-hmm. So choose to show up a certain way and the world will follow suit because all power is associated with immovability. If I continue to show up and believe that I am amazing and that I'm a billionaire and that I deserve a fulfilling life, the world has no choice but to follow suit. Okay? So take a lot of notes. All right, take a lot of notes. I have my handy dandy notebook, as Miss Dora the Explorer would say. And I got my pen ready to rock and roll because I am always a student. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. All right, Supreme Team Pod leaders. All right, if you don't have the phone numbers of these leaders, okay, please feel free to write them down. Because all of these leaders have a social responsibility to be the leaders that they are and help other agents on our platform accomplish their goals. All right. All right. Next slide, please. Okay. So this is our meeting for tonight, you guys, and I will actually man the recognition because I don't really see all of our lovely hosts tonight. But I will go ahead and do the recognition. But Hans Augustine is going to be closing tonight. So I really hope you guys take heed of tonight's meeting. I really hope you guys have come into this meeting with some intention, right? I really hope you guys aren't taking this meeting off mentally. I really hope that you guys capture the meeting as the moment that it is, okay? Because how we show up to these meetings determine what we get out of them. Okay. And I don't want you guys to take a mental lapse off. If you're distracted, if the world is tapping you on the shoulder saying, pay attention to other things, okay, I challenge you to fight it. Fight it off. Give them some 1-2s. You know what I'm saying? Get off me. Throw some elbows, right? Because sometimes we have to fight, Mr. Clark, to preserve our identity. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Okay, we're fighting to preserve the belief of who we see in ourselves versus what the world is trying to tell us we are. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Okay, I see me this way, you see me another way, you got me misidentified. You got me completely. If you're from the hood, you get it, right? So here's the thing, all right? That's what the fight is about. So we show up every single day rewriting the script. That's why we show up. We rewriting the script. We show up every day to rewrite the script for self. This is why people go to war, Betty. Okay? For years, they've been fighting for an identity, who belongs and who doesn't belong. Y'all hear about the fight over there in Israel, Pakistan against Israel. How long has that fight been happening, Mr. Clark? Mr. Taylor, Mr. Clark, right? Mr. Augustine?
Over 50 years.
Since I was born, at least.
Right? Okay. But you know what they're fighting over? Identity. Right? One group is saying, no, I belong here. No, this belongs to me. And the other group is saying, no, I belong here. This belongs to me.
It's Ishmael and Isaac.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bro.
Yes, sir. Right? And so on a smaller scale, that's what we're all doing daily. Right? Mm-hmm. I wake up and I proclaim a level of worth because my identity is attached to my self-worth. Right? And then the world comes and says, how dare you think that way about yourself? Okay? And then you got to go to war. Right? You got to fight them off. Does Betty know what I'm talking about? Okay? So don't take this meeting off. Don't take a mental lapse. It's bigger than just a meeting about life insurance. Okay? You're rewriting the script of your personal value. Okay? And I want you guys to show up that way. Show up investing something mentally, spiritually, and emotionally so that you can extract something mentally, spiritually, emotionally out of it. Right? This is not just another meeting. I won't, you won't get to a 7-figure income with that mindset. Okay. So spotlights, we got a few, right? But just a few, but we will make it work, right? We're going to make it work because this is a weird Wednesday. People have, they're trying to acclimate, they're trying to adjust, and it's okay. All right. So success is a minority class, by the way. And I promise you, if you just stick around, you already won, period. Next slide, please. All right. This is our Supreme Training and Cash Flow. All right. So we have our new agent orientation. We have our winner circle, chess or checkers, equity state of mind. That's a mastermind group. It's where we sharpen each other. We got our $1 Million Baby presentation, Small Business Retirement Program Academy. We have our LinkedIn training that Mr. Stephen Taylor has taken and just owned it, right? He's owned it like Whitney Houston owned the Star Spangled Banner. You know what I'm saying? Like he just took it and this like can't nobody do it better anymore. It's just like done. You pick that thing up, it's like, man, You know what I'm saying? He put some special sauce on that training. I'm telling you guys, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Right, I'm gonna take my picture off of it. Right, then we got the getting started right. We got launch on Saturdays. The ERG Academy as well. The Wealth Showdown. Okay, that's gonna be taking place now on Thursday night, you guys. We are revamping some stuff. Why? Because the road to success is always under construction. Okay. Two mindsets that kill success is I'm done and I know. Okay. I think I said it the other day. It's the poor man's national anthem. I know and I'm finished. Okay. You're never done and you never know. Always remain a student. All right. And then our lovely, lovely Supreme Prayer Call done by Mr. Hans Augustine, hosted by several other phenomenal leaders and believers who care to take care of this community. Right. Because that's what this is, you guys. This is a community. And then we have our ERG national meeting. All right. Absolutely. With the I'll always love you. Right. Exactly. Like nobody could ever sing that the same. They can try it, but it just won't work. All right, so here's the calendar on another level. All right, so again, the training calendar, you guys, that's our morning schedule. The cash flow calendar, that's our evening schedule. It's that simple. You drive people to the evening calendar. All right, let's move into the next slide, please. All right, we have a Supreme Life Services library. Okay. I want you guys to know that any training that we've ever done is somewhere recorded. Okay. So in the event that you want to learn more about how to do three-way calls, how to do LinkedIn, you can access, okay, it in our library. Okay. Just reach out to one of the leaders and we'll have our staff send that to you. All right. Next slide, please. Okay. So I am going to be doing the recognition tonight. Okay. Tonight, my name is Sean Hoyer, and I will be doing the recognition. So let's get everybody unmute. Okay. First and foremost, unmute. Okay. So that we can celebrate the success of some of the people on our platform who've been really, really shaking and moving and making things happen. So let's go. Let's get our heart emojis ready, our hand claps ready. January 19th to the 25th, 2026, one personal recruit, Mr.
Taylor. Mr. Taylor.
All right, Mr. Taylor.
All right. Awesome.
Whoa.
All right. Miss Olashade Ajibolade. Miss Olashade. All right. 7,200 points. Let's go, Miss Ola. Congratulations. Way to get it done. Way to get it done. All right. Let's go, Miss Princess Matt.
Princess Matt.
Go, Princess. Wait,
Congratulations.
100 life points. Did it. Let's go. Mr. James Clark.
Miss Gabriella.
Congratulations, Jennifer.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay. 1,000.
Big job, Jen.
Go back one for me. I wasn't. Go back one
3
slide.
life
Go back one slide.
Congratulations.
All right. 3 life apps submitted.
Back it up.
Spot. Let's go. All right.
Good job.
Miss Folashade, 2 life apps. Okay. And Miss Princess Map, 2 life apps submitted as well. Congratulations. All right. Good stuff. Let's go. Gabriella, 1 app. Monica Castaneda, 1 app. Jennifer
Congratulations. Way to go, Monica and Jennifer.
Congratulations.
Great job.
Make real money. Okay, let's go. All right. Mr. Brian Swisher in the annuity section. All right, this is business, you guys. They pay us well to move money from one place to another, but annuities is the purchasing of money. All right, we teach people how to buy more money with money. All right, where can you go do
Let's
that
go.
at but here?
Go.
All right,
Sean
Sean
Hoyer.
Great
Hoyer.
job,
As
Sean.
well.
Sean.
Hey, let's go, sir. One and
Congratulations.
Go,
congratulations,
Sean Hoyer.
Mr. Sean Hoyer.
Congratulations.
Let's go, let's go. All right. Agents who
Oh,
pre-registered for
convention.
convention, please write these dates down. Okay. Well, I won't say the dates just yet because I'm not all the way sure. All right. But end of July for the convention. Mr. Suni Samad, Hans Augustine, pre-registered for convention. Let's go. See you in Dallas, Mr. Hans Augustine. Next slide, please. Miss Kimberly Howard, Princess Maps.
Way to go,
Dallas,
Kim. Way to go,
Way to
Princess.
go. Way
Get
to
registered.
go.
Akil Rashid, Marlena Smith.
Yes.
Get registered for
Way
the
to go,
convention.
Akil.
Let's go. Gene
Way to
Santos,
go,
Mr. James
Gene and
Clark.
James.
Congratulations.
Way to
Congratulations.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, Mr.
Shani.
How you say his name? And Natalie Hunt.
Oh, way to
Loop
go.
right there, but I brought it back. All right, Natalie Hunt. Let's go. Let's go. I look forward to seeing that young lady at the convention. Miss Lori.
Woohoo. Way to go,
Lorenzo.
Lori.
Ori.
See you in Dallas, Sherry.
Awesome.
Jerry.
Dallas. See you guys in Dallas.
Way to go,
Yamas,
Davida.
Jen
Way to go,
Falapapalangi. Right? Once you learn how to say it, it becomes addictive. All right. Jen Falapapalangi will be in Dallas as well. I have to say it twice. It sounds so nice. Okay. Let's go. Let's keep it moving. Miss Anna Bali.
Anna Bali.
Let's check in with Anna.
All right,
Bashan.
Dion,
Let's
great
go.
job, guys.
Hey,
As well,
Bashan.
because you have pre-registered.
Congratulations.
And then our
Very
amazing
great.
leader, Miss
Grace.
Meg Grace Anasco, always leading.
Way to go, Robin.
Miss
Robin.
Robin, great job,
True.
guys.
All right. See you all in Dallas. Mr. George
Way to
Ridley.
go,
Like
George
that.
Ridley.
You can't say it regular. You gotta say George Ridley
Way to go,
like that.
George
Okay.
Ridley.
See George Ridley. You gotta say Mr. George Ridley. And then Dira.
Do what it do.
Vera,
See you
Lara.
in Dallas as well. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, Mr. Dexter Taylor and Stephen Taylor.
Let's go,
The Taylor
Taylor
Twin
Taylor.
Towers. The Taylor duo is in effect. Let's go. Miss Betty Paul Valentine. I will see you in Dallas. Okay, along with Mr. Patrick
Way to go,
Valentine. All right.
Go.
And then Mr.
Mr.
McKelmacky, Ashley Gathers. Let's go.
Woohoo.
Miss
Way to
Ashley.
go, Ashley.
Great job, Ashley.
See you in
Great
Dallas,
job,
girl.
Let's go.
Well,
I like
Miss
it.
Tierra Bali. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Miss Fola Sade
Way to
Jibalani
go, Miss
Ah, it's from the
Paula.
mile.
and Miss Wakila Washington.
Way
We
to go,
will also
Miss
see you
Wakila.
in Dallas.
Dallas.
Also,
Great
all
job.
of this stuff. Oh, and the list keeps going, you guys. Gabriella and Sears.
Still going.
Okay.
Go,
And then
Gabriella.
Penny
Great job,
Falapapalagi.
Penny.
We will see you in Dallas also. This is exciting. I'm getting exciting all over again. Uh-oh. And we got Miss Coco Francis. All
See you in Dallas.
awesome. All the way from North
Awesome,
Carolina
awesome.
coming to Dallas to
Great
the
job,
big
guys.
event. All right. So let me just say this, you guys.
Congrats, son.
That energy and that synergy that you guys just felt by all the people who pre-registered for the event is a testament of how we felt after leaving the last. Everybody pre-registered for the event after the next event, okay? After the last event. And so we were super excited, you guys, and we want all of you guys who have not registered, okay, to send us your pre-registration intentions. It's free. You didn't pay anything. We just want to know if you're committed to making the big event, because big events absolutely change lives. All right. Now, before we get into the spotlight, okay, if you can just kind of open up the Zoom for me real quick. Before we get into the spotlight tonight, you guys, I just want us to all just bow our heads for a second, because one of our team members recently lost their spouse. Okay. And you guys know we are a community here. We are a family here. And Miss Key Washington, amazing young lady out of the Carolinas. She's a part of Mr. James Clark's team, Hans Augustine's team. She lost her husband. And Miss Key, I hope you know that I'm sharing this in good spirit. But I also want you to know that you have a community of people here, okay, and a support system here that maybe you didn't know you had. And I just wanted to let you know that it's so good to see you on this call after such a loss. You know, I do know personally some of the things that your husband was dealing with, but I just want to have us all show her some love, you guys. In the chat, also too, you know, those of you ladies, you know, prayer warriors, put your number in the chat, okay? And you know, show her some love. You know what I mean? But I just want to give this a moment of silence for her husband. She says she appreciates it in the chat. So I'm gonna just bow my head for a couple seconds, okay? Y'all can join me, all right? Thank you. Thank you, Supreme Team community. You guys are amazing. Whew. So that being said, you can bring back up the spotlights. Mrs. Lay, for me real quick, if you don't mind, can you bring back up the spotlights, Miss Lay? If not, it's okay. There we go. All right. So tonight we are going to be spotlighting a few of our team members. They've been doing some amazing things in the business. And I do see two of the four folks here on the line. Way to show up and stay committed. But the first gentleman that I want to bring up is a gentleman all the way out of California. Okay, he's in Fairfield, California, by the way. And hopefully he can speak this evening. I know this gentleman, you know, has some commitments and things of that nature. But Mr. JD, are you available to speak this evening?
I'm actually going to replace him, Mr. Samar, because he did reach out to me and was aware, but he has a basketball responsibility with his two sons because he's actually coaching right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he's just got to get the transition down, basically. But
okay,
I will
perfect.
speak a couple things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will speak a couple things on his behalf and acknowledge what is happening, and which I think is all great right now, because one of the beauties of seeing a team member kind of transition towards what they're trying to get accomplished. And one of the reasons why we should celebrate him first, too, is because it was a little bit of a rougher ride for Mr. White to get contracted. As you guys begin to realize that when people are coming from other organizations, the reality is that they're kind of trying to get here, but there's a stumbling block, which is, hey, I got to release a contract. I got to move this part of the puzzle. And there's true responsibility as a dad, in addition to the fact that he's originally from our side of town, North Jersey, but he's in California. And there's a reality that he's a family person with also being a student, meaning that, hey, I'm a dad, I'm a student, I'm trying to transition into this business. And he actually got over that hump. And that was a pretty tough hump, honestly, because we had some strong conversations with trying to understand how to transition. And the good thing that I like about what we do here at this organization is we don't hide from the tough conversations, but we try to lead and kind of give the new person a chance to get their understanding of what they're experiencing and how can we help them understand the whys of this particular insurance business. But with that being said, he finally got himself contracted and really positioned with National Life Group. And then thank God we have a family business here. So someone like a Kim Howard and her organization there in California stepped up, because Hans Augustin's all the way on the other side of the East Coast and probably would have figured it out, but it is 10 times easier when you're working as a team. So he's had a chance recently within the last several weeks to actually get connected with Miss Howard. She took the time to sit down with her and her team and kind of invite him to the table and say, hey, let's all eat together. They've had a solid chance of being able to walk into schools. He's already done some events. Thank you, Mr. Taylor, Dexter Taylor on the other side, for inviting him into the fold. And we even had a conversation today. They're actually doing another event tomorrow. We've had a chance. He's actually complied with connecting with Michelle Payne, which is one of the NLG associates, saying, hey, listen, this is the playbook. Tonight, you'll see that I'll talk a little bit about the playbook, guys. And sometimes the pieces of the puzzle matter, but leadership also matters. And that's what I believe Mr. White is exemplified. Say, hey, I got to figure out how to lead for my family. I got to figure out how to lead for myself. And I got to figure out how to position myself. Although I have responsibilities, how do I fight? And he said he was going to be present at least on the call today, just to kind of make sure from a spot. Just couldn't speak because obviously he's playing father, which is important. And we honor those things, even as some things that got communicated to that today in the text. As leaders, we realize that people are family oriented and we got to respect those moments. So I just wanted to step up for him as he communicated the realities. And I'm glad he did. And I wanted to make sure that he was recognized for some of the efforts, because this is a long-term based business. And sometimes we got to be okay with the initial steps. And so he's been taking all of the initial steps to move the ball forward, Mr. Simon.
Absolutely. And let me ask you this, Hans, because it's kind of segue into what we're going to be talking about tonight, right? You know, because tonight's topic is getting started right, okay? And Hans Augustin's going to be doing that training. And, you know, you spoke about this being a family business, and what Hans is alluding to is the idea of leverage. I always say, and please write this down, you guys, the beautiful thing, one of the most beautiful things about our team, our company, is leverage. Okay. One of the biggest L words in this business is not love, it's leverage, right? Because leverage is love in this business. In the event that I'm new, I don't really know how to close a particular market. You know, we had a lot of testimony today. Brian Swisher and a Kimberly Williams, all the way in Houston from another team, okay, was able to bring a Brian Swisher into a small business with 20 staff members, right, and close business. That's leverage, right? You know, you have you know, people like George Ridley leveraging a Mary Grace now. You have, Miss Michelle Austin, you know, who's not a direct recruit of Hans Augustin, right? But I am leveraging Hans Augustin out in New Jersey to help get her business off the ground. But then watch this, Fola is leveraging me to leverage Hans, because that's Fola's direct recruit. But as long as Michelle is happy and successful, everybody wins. You guys following me? Right? And that's the beauty of this structure, this community, this organization, right? And I want you guys to understand that, right? Listen, you know, Princess Map, another perfect example. She came in, she recruited a Kim Howard, right? And then Kim Howard went business director. All the while, she was leveraging other leaders to kind of help move Kim's business in a certain direction. And they did the best that they could. But my point is, right, you know, leverage, okay? Leverage, right? And so that is absolutely powerful. Now, Hans Augustin, you know, in the event that people are, you know, having these slow starts, or maybe life is getting in the way, maybe they do have a job and some prior engagements, right? Because how many of us recruit people by show of hands, right? And they say, well, I can't make every meeting right now. Or, you know, I got this going on. I got this going on Monday. I got this going on Tuesday. I got this going on Wednesday. I got this going on Thursday and this going on Friday. I can't really make the meetings, right? So how do we help them build a business, right? And so Hans Augustin, you know, was able to kind of have that conversation, you know, with a JD not too long ago here, but it's not always easy. It's not always an easy conversation to have. It's not. It's not, you guys. Everybody's not going to join your business and just be head over heels about being on every meeting. And so we have to fight for them. I promise you, man, it's such fulfilling work when you understand it. Right? Because listen, I know you don't know any better. And I know you want what you say you want, but if you knew how to get there, you'd already be there. That's why you joined me. Let me help you. Let me kick down this door real quick. Because I care about your business. I care about you. I care about the things you told me in the game plan interview when you said you wanted to retire your parents, or maybe you wanted to, retire your wife. Maybe you wanted to send your kids to private school. Maybe you wanted to pay off a home. Maybe it was all of the above. Sir, ma'am, this is how you get it done. Okay? And I hate to interrupt, but right now, love is really intrusive. Me and Mr. Clark and Hans, we've had these kind of conversations all the time. Okay? And so, Hans, how did that go in regards to that conversation? What transition did you have to make as a leader? And then how fulfilling was that for Mr. JD?
I think the transition that I had to make was just saying, hey, you know what? I understand, number one, but I still have to honor you with the truth. And the truth is, in order for us to be able to adjust things in favor of a result, there are some responsibilities that I have to take, and there's responsibilities that you have to take. So that means that it's a joint venture, but if we all as agents or an individual don't take those responsibilities, it'll be harder to capture the original dream that you had, or the vision that you were here to accomplish, or the financial goal that you're trying to tap into. Because without any consistent level of activity, which we'll talk about tonight, you'll find it extremely challenging, or you will find it completely difficult in order to provide your vision any fuel. And an empty car without any gas, like you said, can't go anywhere. And there's this initial statement that somebody said to me when I got on this platform: it's very difficult to get behind a parked car. And it's no disrespect to any agent. It's just, as a leader, we're saying, hey, we have to get your car in a forward position. I can take 10 miles per hour. I could do 20. I can even do 100. But we got to get the car moving forward so that you can get closer to your original vision, which is the destination that you're trying to accomplish, basically. So.
Love it, man. Love it. Love it. Well, listen, and we're really, really proud of you, JD. When you first came here, brother, I had the privilege to do your game plan interview, and I saw that hunger in you, that desire. You're a great father. You serve this country. You're a great guy, man. And we want the best for you here. We can see your transition starting to develop. Folks that went out to the schools with you, sung your praises, said you were game, great guy, man. And so, listen, man, we look forward to hearing, more, of success for you, and great things, brother. Great things in the mix for you. And I see you were able to unmute for a second. Go ahead and speak to us.
You see, I'm driving, trying to get to this practice.
Yes, sir.
No, I just want, Mr. Hazagas, to thank you about that. That's true. And yes, I am definitely working on it. I'm adjusting to the schedule since my semester just started, plus with basketball practices and coaching and the games and stuff as well. And any free time I have, like me and Mr. Augustin had talked about. We talked about Wednesdays will be my day. That was me and you, Mr. Hans, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We just talked about it earlier. But I know you was in transition. So, and we talked about it a couple of days ago, but we also reconfirmed it today.
So I'm committing Wednesdays. It's my couple hours to get out to the schools and making my face known to people, and let the people know that I'm out to help them. So Wednesdays, and I'm going to try to get to every meeting that I can with my busy schedule. But as I said before, I'm just trying to adjust to the schedule since it's fresh and hot right now. So I appreciate and I appreciate my family here with the OIC company.
Absolutely, brother. Keep smiling, man. You got $1 million smile, brother. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Keep on smiling. Don't let nobody take that from you, sir. All right. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for sharing this evening. And you guys, here's the note that I took. All right. You know, and I'll share it with you guys here real quick before I bring up the next person. And if you guys want to join me in the note-taking process, I want you guys to write this down. Write this phrase down: manufacturer's design, or according to the manufacturer's design. I want to ask you guys something real quick. If I buy, JC, a Mercedes-Benz, and the Mercedes manufacturer says, I got to put 91 gasoline in here and synthetic oil, right? And I need to get this oil changed every, 30,000 miles. But I put 87 in here and I don't put synthetic oil in there, and I don't get the oil changed every 30,000 miles. Do I still have a Mercedes-Benz?
You do, but it's not going to perform like one.
I don't have what the manufacturer designed.
Right.
I don't have what the manufacturer designed. So it's no longer Mercedes. It's Sunnis, but it ain't Mercedes, right? Because it is no longer operating according to the manufacturer's design. So when somebody says they have a system, follow me, and we operate outside of that system, but the system says if you follow this within 30 days, we can get you to associate, 8K, so on and so forth. And I say, well, I won't really do it that way. I'll do it a different way. I'm no longer functioning within the manufacturer's design. So I'm no longer operating within the manufacturer's system to get the result. If I opened up a McDonald's franchise today and I said, Betty, I don't want to put my Big Macs in a box. I want to put them in aluminum foil. I no longer have a McDonald's. I have a McDowell's. Okay? I no longer have a McDonald's. Yeah, right? Coming to America. I got a McDowell's now. I don't got a McDonald's because I'm operating outside of the manufacturer's design. Watch this. When God created you, hello, right? There's a way to eat and a way not to eat. There's mental food to consume, right? What did Jesus call the Bible? The bread of life, right? There's food that we supposed to consume and food we not supposed to consume. And when we consume food outside of what we supposed to consume, we're no longer operating according to the manufacturer's design, and we don't get the results the manufacturer promised. That's how important systems are. And I want you guys to understand this, right? Because when you bring new agents on board, okay, you have to have the courage and the love for this new person's business to sometimes, like Hans said it so eloquently, honor them with the truth. I'm honoring you with the truth. All right. So with that said, you guys, I'm going to bring up this next gentleman. He needs no introduction. I love this brother, man. He has been a ride or die, man, for me since I met him. I met him over in Jersey. The first time I met him, I knew something was special about him. I didn't know then. And then I saw him preaching. And I said, this gentleman is special. And since I would say, a trip to DC, New Jersey, and some other rendezvous, he's taken ownership in his business in a way that is amazing. It's been a pleasure to watch. We've come on, princess, right? I see you preaching in chat. Right? But you guys, it's a beautiful thing when we take ownership. When we take this attitude of ownership, great things really start to happen in our business. And this gentleman shared his goals with me. He always reaches out to me on a regular basis. And he allows me, because this gentleman has been in this, the entrepreneurial space before, but the level of humility that he brings here is impressive. For somebody as accomplished as he is in other spaces, for him to always say, hey, I'm confiding in you as, one of the leaders here, Mr. Samad, tell me where to go. Tell me which way to go. Tell me how to move. Show me the way, right? It's just been a pleasure to work with him. And so, Mr. JC, talk to the team about just kind of the transition that you've made. You hit 2026 with some hard intentions, even though there's been some challenges in your schedule, things of that nature, right? But how have you made those adjustments, stayed very convicted about your business, and you still putting up points, brother? You know what I'm saying? And helping families. Talk to us about just the mindset and the attitude for your business in 2026.
Good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you loud and clear, brother.
Good evening. I'm in my car driving. My daughter just called me to pick her up, so forgive me, but I just wanted to make sure I was on. So always a pleasure to be on. Always a pleasure. Thankful for every opportunity to share. But it's very true. I came into 2026 with some very intentional goals and did some things that I never did before. I set my affirmations that I get to listen to myself say every day. I definitely stay plugged into you and Hans and everybody, that any nugget I can get. But it has been challenges. It's not without challenges. My schedule is very restrictive at the moment. But even with that, I am constantly looking for ways to grow my business. So the ability to be able to put up the policy last week is basically from follow-up and, relationship building, from some old leads from before. We'll have a sweet treat that's coming up this Wednesday with Ashley. So, we're working around the schedule to make that happen. I'm looking at some things that I can do on the times of my schedule. It's not as restrictive because it is my intent to accomplish my goals. I have to constantly talk to myself because when challenges come, it can be, if I allow it to be, it can be very deflating. But as I constantly talk to myself and remind myself of the goals that I set, it's when I, do feel a little discouraged, I just try again. And I think you said it in one of our calls, or maybe in one of the calls, you said it at some point that just be here, just be here. And if you're here, you're destined to win. So that is my mindset, that I will not be defeated, and because I'm not going anywhere. So I am going to win by default because I purpose not to quit. So that's kind of where I am. Because quitting, is super easy to do, and I have done it before. But it doesn't change anything because I still don't have what I want. So I'm just gonna keep plowing and figuring it out, and and give myself the grace if I make mistakes to keep trying. And I do believe that if I continue, I'll get to where I'm going.
Love that, brother. Love that. You guys, not quitting puts the odds in your favor. Not quitting alone puts the odds in your favor. right? And he understands that. He's basically saying, listen, I'm not going nowhere because I understand that, sometimes war is a game of attrition, right? Sometimes it's just winning is just attrition. It's like who can last the longest, right? And I love that about your mindset. You know, let me ask you a quick question. You said something about affirmations. We talk about rewriting the narrative. What is it about those affirmations that have been helping you in your business?
So I'll start by saying, I love all the calls, and I think you heard me say it last night. I love all the calls, but one of my favorite is the wealth formula. And one of the things that is in the wealth formula is the poverty language and the wealth language. And when you look at the poverty language, there are certain things that for most of us have been told throughout our lives by people we love, and they have become truth to us. But when we continue to rehearse those things, those things are not necessarily truth. Those are just things that we believe to be true. And so with the affirmations, it is my ability to hear myself tell myself new truths. And when I don't maybe have the words to say, or I could say something that I shouldn't say, I just press replay on my phone, and I listen to myself tell myself, what is the real truth. And so I have found that affirmations have, wait, there we go. I have found that affirmations have worked for me. And sometimes, again, it is just pressing the play button on my phone for a minute. And I said these things, right? So it's not anybody else saying them. It's me saying them. And I'm not going to lie to me, so I, use those affirmations to just encourage myself to keep going. And I do. And also I've set out time now. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Which was a big deal. So I told you, Sudi, that was a big deal. I was going to do it. And I've been doing it. I can't get to 4 o'clock. I need that extra hour. But I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning to give myself space to talk to myself, to read, to pray, to do a little workout, whatever, before I get into the crazy of the day. And I owe that to myself. So I take the time to calibrate myself so that I can be the best I can be for the day. And I think what gets me up is that I remind myself I owe it to myself. My wife is still asleep. My house is quiet, right? 'Cause everybody's still asleep. So that's my time to be with myself and to really get my mind right so I can face whatever the day will bring. So that's just a totally different shift in mindset, because I thought you need as much sleep as possible, and that is true, but you also owe it to yourself to maximize the hours that you have in the day. That's just how I think.
Yes, sir. Oh man, I love it, brother. I love it. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you guys. Let's give JC a round of applause, right?
Thank you, sir.
Because you guys, the value that we bring to our business is internal value before it turns into external value, right? And so thank you so much, brother, for hopping on. I wish I had more time, but I want to give Hans his just due, because we have to come to a very hard stop at about 8:20. 28, 25-ish, so that we can transition into the $1 Million Baby. But, I will say this before I bring Mr. Augustine up. He said some amazing things. He said, I listen to myself tell myself. That's powerful. I listen to myself tell myself. And we had a conversation where, I told him that I recorded my affirmations and I listened to myself tell myself, but I've never told myself that I listened to myself tell myself. So that made me want to go listen to my own affirmations again, because that's powerful, right? I love that. I absolutely love that. And me too, Mr. Clark. Sometimes I listen to these affirmations in the morning and I'm like, wow, I said these things. I was so divinely inspired at this moment in my life, and I captured it and I put it in a bottle. And anytime that I feel outside of inspired, right, I can re-inspire myself. Okay. What are affirmations, man? Affirmations, people think they're cliche, people think they're bogus. Listen, if you understand how the human mind works, you will probably love affirmations. You have to rewrite the narrative every single day. You got old experiences, old trauma, old belief systems, old people, places, friends that have wired your mental software against your objectives to be successful, against your picture of you in the future. So we have to rewrite the narrative. And that is what I love about the affirmation piece. Rewriting the software, man, and not quitting, you guys, puts the odds in your favors, man. Mary Grace shared with us 245 people. All those folks rolled up to her because she did not quit, period. 245 agents. All right. So with that said, without any further ado, I'm going to turn the call over to, someone who on this team needs no introduction. I call this gentleman a model citizen. Since I met this gentleman, he has taken this information and just ran with it. He's owning the school space. And he's developing himself to be at the top of the food chain here in OIC. My brother, my friend, and everybody's, confidant here. Everybody loves this gentleman on this team. Mr. Hans Augustin, sir, the floor is yours. And I will say, you have to come to a hard stop at about 8:25, brother. So let's run it. And you guys get your notes, pen and pad ready, and let's give Mr. Augustin a round of applause real quick before he hops on.
Thank you, Mr. Samad. All right. So I will add no fat to this call, guys, but I'm going to ask you guys one question. I'm just going to assume that everybody who's on this call is a big boy or a big girl.
Yes, sir.
So just give me some grace. I'm going to give you some big girl and some big boy conversation.
Please.
We're in business, everybody. And if you want to succeed in business, you have to learn how to kill all the noise. I was listening to somebody express about Steve Jobs today, and Steve Jobs was not the nicest person in business because he was all about results. One of the persons that I became in business was result driven. So if you met me, you would be a little bit offended, actually. But I realized that we're in a different type of business. So I'm going to add also a little bit of care in this conversation. But I want you to write this down, and I need you to take your business seriously tonight. There must be a reason why the 20 of you guys have sacrificed this time of an hour not to be available to your family, not be available to a spouse, children. And so that means you have to be very clear that, first of all, the system has already provided a level of results that you don't need to argue about because the evidence is clear. We're fortunate to have somebody within a 24-month period develop a plan for you that has taken 8 years to come into fruition for an entire organization. And the reason why I want to share that, to be fair, the leaders that arrived here before us, they actually had serious years of foundation. So they went through their 24-month cycle before. So this for them, when they got here, was a rinse and repeat. But for your leader, Mr. Samad, it wasn't a rinse and repeat situation. This was a coming to an understanding that I cannot fail here because I've made a promise and a vision to myself, as you heard Mr. James Clark say. So I want you guys to understand that we already have a system here. And for some reason, if I answered that three-way call that I had with Miss Natalie, there must be a reason why I got here too, that I'm not satisfied with the outside results. So I can't argue about a system that I've never been able to create before. And if you feel that you've created before, this is the big boy part. This is where you have to make a decision to remove yourself from this reality if you're not going to compete with a system. What that means is that if you begin to understand what we've been able to accomplish, it says skill mastery, the key to sustaining success. Skills make you rich, not knowledge. So that means as many meetings as you choose to attend, that's great information. But if you don't become skillful, you're going to have a difficulty in becoming rich, even if it's just $1,000 per month, because you have to become so skillful and consistent at producing the same $1,000 per month. Knowledge will help, but mastering the essential skills enables you to navigate challenges effectively and creates lasting impact in your business. There's a reason why I've been able to get into schools consistency. I've trained myself every week, regardless of all the other noise, and I got plenty of noise that I can account for. If you don't learn to master these skills, you will have significant challenges and you have to become a master of it. And what we've decided here at Supreme Team is that these are the 3 markets that we've seen people fully flourish at. And if you skip a step, then you've skipped the ability to become fully flourished. Now, I learned something that this is literally a volunteer army, but do you understand that if you were working in corporate America, you would have to be required to follow their system, or you would have lost your job, you would have lost your ability to take care of your children, you would have lost access to the income, the benefits. So I want you guys to begin to position your mindset that the reason why this system is extremely valuable to you, this is your benefit package, if you need to language it like that. This is how you get your health care. This is how you get your weekly paycheck, your bi-weekly paycheck, or this is how you earn your salary here. Because maybe that's what you're used to, so that's where I have to have a little bit more care. Maybe my business experience or Mr. Samad's willingness to commitment or Kim's previous ability to kind of be in certain spaces allowed her to, or allowed him, or many other leaders on this platform, or allowed a Brad Pham or Mary Grace the sustainability that allowed her to capture 245 people direct. But let me tell you why I realized the natural market became valuable. So I never say anything unless I've personally accomplished it. If you guys don't remember, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself tonight for the purpose of helping you. When I got here, they said, hey, Hans, I know you know a lot of people, and I know you may have done some things before. Gather a list of your natural market. Well, maybe let's rephrase that. Well, who is your natural market? It might be somebody that might be a family member. It might be a friend. It might be people that you met along the way. And I looked at my phone the other day. I have 2,700 plus contacts in my phone. There must be a reason that I've met these people naturally. They've given me their phone number. They've given me their information. So it was easy for me to say, okay, if that's what you believe works here, I don't know how to manage an agency at the level that I'm interested in. I will develop my natural market list, and I will invite them to the grand opening proposal that you mentioned to me, which means that my natural market needs to understand that A, I'm in business, C, this is what I do, and here's how I could potentially help your natural market that might be connected to you. Your friends all have friends, and they know other people that if you are the professional that you are eventually going to become here, they will eventually introduce them to you. But if you cut this part short, then you're not going to make the 20 grand that I made that month. And I say it so respectfully, meaning that the month that I did that, I positioned myself financially to earn $20,000 to ensure that this business was true. Not only was it true, the evidence of the dollars depositing in my account was as a result of me following a system of organizing my network of people that I've connected over the course of time, inviting them to an event. But what did my natural market specifically do for me? it gave me the practice ground so that I can prepare for the niche market. Because when I did my game plan interview, Mr. Samad said, hey, there are 3 core markets that we serve in this system. If you learn how to naturally serve your natural market, it will prepare you to get to the niche market, because yes, natural market may run out. Maybe they've had things before. Maybe they're not ready to support you. Maybe they saw you as someone else. But guess what? Everybody has the right to change, because maybe they need 6 months to see, is James going to stick it out? Maybe they need a year to say, hey, Hans, I know you were doing real estate. When did you all of a sudden become a financial professional? But you test the natural market and you leverage the natural market, because we already have excellent access to a niche market. In this space, in this business, let me give you guys, there's a gentleman who asked me a very specific question. I said, well, hey, did you understand that today's event that I hosted at the school would have been $20, 20 leads times $50? That would have cost me $1,000 of financial commitment in order to generate the same names of individuals that I got a chance to introduce myself to. Now, if you're in the insurance business, you need to have names and phone numbers of continuous people to navigate their realities to create your results for this particular week or this particular month or the milestone that you're trying to hit. Well, everybody, why are we developing an agency market? I want you guys to really lock this down and give me a patience. I'm going to follow all the way to the 9:25 hour. The agency market is your future paycheck. When I go visit Mr. Taylor this weekend, I am investing into my future. When Mr. Samad is having a conversation with James Clark on a Saturday morning where he probably would be preferably more relaxed with his family, he's investing into his future. Why is the agency market? I had a conversation with an agent today and I said, well, hey, the agency market is the day that you're going to wake up that you are not interested in walking into a school. You are not interested in putting up that application that day. But because you've successfully built 18 plus agency owners that might have 300 to 400, 500 agents, they're all writing on your behalf, but you have to do the work right now. If you understand that these are the core markets we serve, then this is the system that you're going to begin to follow, and you're going to use leverage. Well, the natural market says, well, my leverage is connected to my family members. They know me. They potentially may give me the opportunity. Hey, engaging with family creates a solid foundation for your business that often most supportive and can provide you valuable referrals. Maybe they don't buy, but they will introduce you to somebody who is interested in buy. Your friends can be your first advocates in the market. Sharing your goals with them allows them for you to trust-based relationship leading to potential partnerships and referrals in your journey. I don't go into schools because I just believe I'm going to write the individual. I am creating an ecosystem of future referrals, not just for me, for all the potential business partners that will help me run the entire East Coast. I did not say New Jersey. I said the entire East Coast. So yes, I will probably see a Miss Francis this weekend. Yes, I will probably go visit Wakila if she lets me have dinner with her this weekend. Yes, I'm making an investment into the future idea of how I will build the entire East Coast. So when you look at your natural market, you should be looking at your family and friends as potential supporters who will help you generate referrals. Actively seeking referrals, encouraging a network culture, encouraging satisfied clients to refer others, creating a cycle of trust, expanding your reach will actually become effortless now through your natural market because you became the financial professional that positions you to do so. In the niche market, focus strategies for targeted growth. You guys haven't seen me change my educator wheel since the day that I got here. It's not that other things don't work. I never said that. I just identified with the education market. I said, I'm going to stick to it as long as possible until I become the most credible individual in that space. Year 1 was just getting into lunchrooms. Year 2 is now, hey, let's get into some more conversations in staff meetings. Let's have some big boy conversations. Let's talk to the principals. Let's talk to the association. I just got one more bombshell, but I'm going to call Mr. Saman and talk to him first before I share that with you. You guys, that's a secret conversation tonight. But just let you know that what I'm about to do will create more leverage for you and me in the education space. And if you choose small business, I'm not mad at you, but you got to learn how to foster relationship with small business, allowing for tailored solutions to meet those true specific needs, ensuring mutual growth and strong community ties through personalized service. In the education, partnering with educators, enhancing credible and trust, it's the same thing. Where are you focused at? See, for me, I realized that I fell in love with the education space. I have a natural relationship with a wife who's connected to other educators. I got a foundation that it worked before, and millions of dollars have been made and millions of premiums have been submitted through the education space. So it just needs a little bit of improvement. And what I want to do is not say that I know better than the system, but how can I improve the results that are being created? Well, hey, Hans, you stay focused on your strategy and you target it until you grow it to the place that you believe or beyond the potential. Or maybe Stephen Taylor comes on board and he says, you know what, Hans, that's great, but you know what? I've just added something that will 10x our ability, or I find the one who's smarter than me that will 10x our ability, but we all get a chance to benefit. Not just Hans, because the Supreme Team is an actual family. See, but you have to go through the proper steps. You got to get that certification, that 403B certification. You got to get to the academy. And I think the biggest mistakes, this is big boy conversations that we make, is that I've seen multiple individuals visiting at our academy, and I'm not upset because I'm an equity-based individual. I'm going to create equity here but we have access to this information first. So you arrive here at this organization, you get excited about the idea of being able to get into schools, but then you want to skip the education process of how to get in there and who to talk to, and yet you don't want to have a conversation with the individuals who've been cracking that code consistently? Okay, so Hans, you want to get into the education market, but you don't want to visit no schools. How's that going to work? Oh, okay, well, I want to open up the East Coast, but Hans, you don't want to drive to North Carolina. You don't want to drive to, you don't want to fly to California. You don't want to be in Las Vegas, Nevada, where the founder is actually teaching you the 5 phases that he went through over the course. So what school are you trying to visit then? What education market are you trying to run? When did you build another academy? When did you become the 403B expert? You can't become the expert if you don't begin to implement the information of the previous experts. I told people the reason why I'm an intern here is I'm learning from the previous individuals who created the idea of a certification. I'm learning from the individuals who say, I've suffered enough that I will not allow others to suffer. Let me show you how to get into this space a lot more simpler and easier, but yet you decided to skip that step? Well, invite me to your academy, because go ahead. Now, this is a big boy conversation. Please forgive me. Invite me to your academy and let me see how you doing it. So all I'm trying to express to you guys is that you can't skip steps here. Okay, well, now we got an agency market. You got on a game plan interview. Now, this is not you because y'all really still here, but I've seen some people get on a game plan interview and they told me they was about to crack the world. They spent, I got this. A year and a half later, this one individual, I won't share with you guys' name, but a year and a half later, has never been to a school, has never recruited anybody, has never trained anybody, never duplicated anybody, but yet you want to spend and waste my time. Big boy conversation, guys. Now, y'all here, so y'all must be doing something correctly. But if you are trying to build agency and you have a problem with recruiting, if you have a problem with training, or if you have a problem with you duplicating yourself, how are you going to create 18 plus agencies? What is recruiting? Hey, building a strong foundation requires strategic recruiting of dynamic individuals who align with the supreme team vision. It's not your vision. It's this organization's vision. Yes, you have a vision that you accomplish. Myself and Mr. Taylor had a conversation with a gentleman, and I said, listen, I understand your personal vision, but you got to connect with this vision first, and then we can see what we could do to help you, because you got to provide value. See, ensuring team sustainable growth and effective training, comprehensive training power empowers recruits with skills and knowledge needing to thrive, promote confidence, and consistently. So let me give you guys this training piece. If you're not going to get on the LinkedIn call, then why even start? If you're not going to show up to the academy, then why even start? If you're not going to show up to the $1 Million Baby that's going to start in the next 10 to 15 minutes, why even talk about $1 Million Baby? Don't be a fraud. This is big boy conversation now. I'm not mad at you, but I'm just telling you, you want to understand the reasons why this system got in place, because, well, hey, the other day we was on a coaching call. And I had another conversation late at night. If you can create 6 BDs one time, there's 8 BDs, and you can create it again. But if you're trying to ignore a conversation with a Sunni Saman, then you got a problem. I'm not patronizing him. I'm just telling you, he did it for you guys for a purpose. And if you don't want to walk into a school with me, you actually got a problem. Because I've been into more schools, more principal offices, more director's offices, more natural conversations, more teacher appointments than you. I'm not better than you, but I decided to implement the system. So why argue about it? Hey, let's close. Well, what's the system in the agency growth system? Okay, so we tell you to do a 3-way call, but you get me on a discovery call. Well, we got to do the 3-way call first, because that's just the warming environment to find out, are we really wasting any time with this individual? He don't really want to do nothing. She don't really want to do nothing. It was just a 15-minute conversation. But now you got me in a 30-minute conversation with somebody who really we could have discovered in the 3-way conversation for 15 minutes that it wasn't going to go anywhere. Or you invited him to the training presentation and you done skipped the qualifying period, because this person's going to be a problem. Not only for the organization, but for you. These are the qualifications that we run to verify. And let me tell you guys, Hans did it too. I'm not just blaming you. Hans did it too. Tried to skip the 3-way 15-minute call. Like, what you talking about, Mrs. Simon? Why we gotta speak to this person in 15 minutes? You ain't got nothing else to do today? Forgive me, Mrs. Simon. Yep, I did it too. Trying to jump the steps. But this is the qualification train that we running. Not because we're doing something wrong, but this actually is the way that it worked better, because when you did have the 3-way conversation, you gave that person confidence and you qualified the reason why. Then you said, hey, you know what? This sounds like we're moving in the right direction. Let me introduce you to some players. Let's go through the information. Let's go through some details. And then now we'll do a little presentation. Or you went ahead and you sent him the sign-up link and he never showed up again. You sent her the sign-up link and she never showed up again. She got an OIC code or he got an OIC code, but he ain't planning to do nothing. You're not really growing a business. Hans did it too. I'm not just blaming you, but I realized that I'm going to become so proficient in this system because why? Understanding the power of the system. Let's go, guys. Let me take one more step back. Forgive me. It says, hey, the system over talent. Yes, I know you got a master's degree. Yes, you may have a PhD. Yes, you may have built many of this and many of that, or you have run this, or you were the corporate person this, or you were the HR superstar, but we ain't in that group no more. We're not. We're trying to build agency. We're trying to break financial professionals. This is something different. Well, ensure consistency, because guess what? You know what? I used to hear the McDonald's conversation from the gentleman, Mr. Samad, and I'm like, I hear him, but you know what? If you really walk around this across the United States, everywhere you go, you see a McDonald's. You bump into a McDonald's everywhere, so they must be doing something consistent, which is a system. Education over selling. You know what? If you sell on the first appointment, I told somebody today, I said, man, that chargeback will come back so quick on you. It's because you really didn't really tell this person you're a professional. You didn't tell them you were going to have conversations with them in 6 months. You didn't tell them that you were going to have conversations with them in 12 months. You're building a client. This is duplication versus hustling. We're not hustlers anymore, anybody. We're not hustling anymore. We got to create a streamlined process that enables easier replication, fostering an environment where success can be shared. It's 9:26, so we're going to have to wrap this up. One system, guys, unifying 3 powerful markets together. The Supreme Team system integrates natural, niche, agency markets, creating a cohesive strategy that fosters momentum. Do you know where I can get in so many schools? We're creating momentum. And if you become respectful, you build authority, and it scales effectively across diverse business landscapes. We didn't say just New Jersey. We didn't just say Texas. We didn't just say South Carolina. We didn't just say California. We said the United States. So we got to create a McDonald's version of this system that positions us to be able to talk to anybody. I've never heard somebody say, you may not like McDonald's, but you're going to find something. You're going to get you a fish fillet. You're going to get yourself a Big Mac. You're going to get you something. You're going to get a biscuit. I've seen everybody eat at McDonald's. Mr. Samad, we're going to have to crack this code another night.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
going to keep
sir.
it respectful for Miss Kim
I
and you. Go
appreciate
ahead
you,
and close
brother.
that, sir.
Yes, yes. Listen, mic drop, you guys. Let's give Mr. Hans Augustin a round of applause. And you know what, you guys, this is an amazing meeting, Mr. Augustin. Amazing
Awesome,
training.
brother.
Show him some love. I want you all to go over to our group chat and share how amazing this training was tonight, this meeting was tonight, and show, let's promote this call for this team, this agency. We're going to close this meeting and then reopen our $1 Million Baby. All right? See y'all on the next one. Peace.